Hi, I'm Reggie from Nintendo of America.
At the end of 2011, Nintendo started putting out short-form videos where they could talk directly to their fans called Nintendo Direct. At the time, it was a rather new concept conceived by the most beloved president of Nintendo, the late Satoru Iwata. The purpose of these videos were to create a more intimate and direct connection with their audience and move away from traditional press conferences to talk about upcoming games and hardware. Throughout the first few years of Nintendo Directs, visually speaking, the team at Nintendo was figuring out exactly what they were doing with these videos and trying to find some consistent elements that they could use for the whole of the series. Some of these elements remain to this day, but a lot has changed and evolved over the years. From 2012 to 2014, the intro animation of the videos was a pretty simple logo fly-in, followed by the whole screen breaking away into 3D tiles that fly off from right to left. But at the beginning of 2015, with the dawn of a new console around the corner, the video team decided to add some new flair. With this update, we see the arrow from the logo shoot across the screen, popping out little cubes in its path as it rockets from bottom to top, diagonally and finally left to right, landing in its place as part of the logo on a newly updated white background design. For the first time, we're introduced to a background that isn't just a white void like before. The white background is alive with shifting cubes, D-pad and plus sign shapes, and little dots marking points throughout a grid. Many of these new elements will remain a staple of the design language of future Nintendo Directs. In this video, we're also introduced to an updated lower thirds, which are the graphics that house speaker names and titles. These are an exciting update from the flat red bar with the arrow at the end from previous Directs. We also get color washes on the cube grid white background design for different speakers, which is interesting, but it doesn't last for too long. The grid cube background are also now used as a device to display launch dates and other game information, which is a neat touch. The very next year, in 2016, they decide to change up the lower thirds again, now swapping the gray and red colors and making the design look overall a little cleaner. The color washed white backgrounds are still there, but only for a couple of elements, so there's much less of it. They also introduced using the Wii U teal and 3DS red for lower banner grid pop-outs to help differentiate between games for the two systems. In 2016, they also played around with having some different style intros for game-specific directs, like this one for the Fire Emblem Direct. But then, on October 20th of 2016, we got this. Although this trailer had no effect on the design elements of the Nintendo Directs that came after it, one in November of 2016 and the other in January of 2017, the April 12th Direct of 2017 was all about the Switch, and so it was time to really switch things up. All I have to say is,
Wowie zowie!
We got a new logo design, a new intro animation, new background design elements, new lower thirds, and new transitions. We also got this rack of slides of games they'll be talking about and where the secrets in the Direct will be. It seems like the team working on the Directs finally got all of their ideas aligned and came up with a very cohesive look and feel that would remain this way or close to it for at least a couple of years. I love that they moved away from the white background to give us an even more alive looking red background, with the Direct chevron banner arrow tab thing, I'll just call it a banner, getting cut out and tipping into and away from the camera. It really brings some fun depth to the shots. They also kept the little points between the previously established grid motif and added a soft shimmer to them. The little plus symbols are still there. The lower thirds went back to being flat, but this time have a much more elegant look to them, mimicking the banner. I'm also a fan of the lower information area with the shimmering dots and translucent banners moving through them. However, that would only last for about a year. Things remained looking roughly the same through the final Direct with this new style in September of 2018, but they did change up the rack of slides to more of a 3D film reel where the next game topic would emerge. Very cute touch. Then in 2019, we get yet another revamp of the visuals of the Direct. This is the one that I'm sure most people are familiar with. I'm a huge fan of the little 3D banners flying around and waking up all the cubes and shapes that flip over to create the Nintendo text, and then a bunch of the little banners fly into the O. It's just so cute and clean and exciting. They also kept the red background for the speaker portions and the little glimmering dots, but they removed the plus symbols, little motion lines, and brought back the grid cubes from 2016. The lower thirds are roughly the same, but with new colors and some added depth to their look and feel, and lastly, they changed out the 3D film reel for more of a banner motif-centric slide display. What's most interesting about this new Direct aesthetic is that things would stay this way almost exactly for the next 6 years. The most recent Nintendo Direct that we got for the Switch 1 in 2025 has almost all of the same design elements as the one from September of 2019. They must have really liked it, and so did we. But at the beginning of 2025, everyone was talking about predictions for the April 2nd Direct. They were talking about the games, the hardware specs, the prices, the features, but no one, at least that I'm aware of, talked about the design format of the Direct. One of the things that I was the most excited to see is if they were planning on doing a new Direct update for the release of their new system. Then on April 2nd, at 10 a.m. sharp, I saw this. Yes, they did it. They redid the intro. I was so happy to see that they decided to make the directs that accompany their new system look so next level. I loved seeing all the cute little squishy shapes bouncing around and coming together like Legos, which kind of makes sense with their huge connection to Lego these days, to form the now iconic looking Direct logo. I also love the adorable Toy Story-esque blue sky with the little puffy clouds. It's just so great. It looks like they decided to move away from the red background with the glimmering dots to a light gray background, which is fine. I'm wondering if this is something that's going to remain for a while or if they'll end up going back to the red background. They also removed any kind of depth or motion from the background with the exception of the dots having a bit of a glimmer to them. We got a cool new transition animation with layers of the banner shape flipping over like pages until the final ones reveal the next shot. We also got a secondary transition where it's more of a single stack of banner shapes flipping by to reveal the next part of the video. The lower thirds have changed once again to kind of more of a boring look, but it is cool how they animate in. And it seems like they're moving away from the slide display to show off a game before they show off a game and just going straight into the next game teaser or trailer, which is fine by me. It was basically unneeded padding, but it was also cute, so whatever. Anyway, yeah, it seems like things have once again changed for the Nintendo Directs. Maybe they'll keep all the design changes for 1 or 2 years with some minor edits here or there, or maybe this is what our Nintendo Directs will look like for the next 5 to 6 years. Only time will tell. And either way, I'm excited to see where it goes, and I hope you are too. This is Level Up Creative, and thanks for watching.